Hello, my dear friends. This is Carrie Konyha bringing you another episode of Tarot for the Soul. Welcome back, friends. We are in the midst of some very significant energies that are unfolding right now, astrologically speaking. And because of that reason, I'm going to take a little bit of extra time today and dive a little bit more deeply into whatever insights and messages want to come through for us this week to support our collective journeys in spiritual awakening, healing, and empowerment. So first of all, we are in the midst of the energy of the great conjunction that happened yesterday between Jupiter and Saturn, and that energy is going to be unfolding and influencing us for not only many months, but actually many years to come. And so we're in the very beginning of this energy now. And this energy is very conducive to like a whole new chapter of experience opening up for all of us individually and collectively. I've been suggesting to my clients to recall whatever was happening for you about 19, 20 years ago. So looking back to the year 2001, 2002, take a look and see if you can recall whatever journey was being newly inspired at that time in your life, and looking back to see how it unfolded over the past 19, 20 years up until now. And now we're having a reset of that energy. So it's not going to feel or look exactly the same as it did 19, 20 years ago, of course, because this conjunction is happening in a new astrological sign. But the same energetic theme around, okay, something is being initiated and activated that's going to be unfolding and becoming a huge significant part of my life for the next 20 years now. So as an example, when I look back at what was going on with me 19, 20 years ago, my mother passed away in 2001, which actually was a part of what ended up inspiring me wanting to move and relocate, and it's what ended up bringing me to Sedona, which I've been living in Sedona for 18 years now. And so I'm just sharing this as an example of how we can expect this energy to play out for all of us, again, individually and collectively. So on the individual level, in some ways, shapes, or forms, we are at a juncture in our life where we can shift into the very beginning of a new journey that will unfold over the next 2 decades. Collectively speaking, there's a generational influence that's coming in around these energies. And because of the Aquarius influence on the planets Jupiter and Saturn that we're having now, this is going to collectively inspire things having to do with unity consciousness, oneness, collaboration. It's more about we rather than I. It's about people teaming up to support the greater good for the earth, the world, humanity. And we're going to see technological advances as well. Now, within this whole conjunction, there's going to be sort of like the lower matrix aspect of things that are going on, but then the higher octave of things going on as well. So while a lot of people have been talking about that there's going to be advancements with artificial intelligence, okay, yeah, sure, I'm sure that's going to happen. But we also have the ability to make advancements in things like free energy, technology that is more green, healthy, and beneficial to the world. And so there's almost this like polarization that's happening where, yeah, there's going to be challenges that are connected to, again, the lower sort of darker plane of reality, But we don't have to buy into that reality as being our reality. We don't have to feed into that reality with our attention. We can choose to hold space for utilizing the energies that are happening for the greater good on all levels. And it feels like that's really what's wanting to happen. So we're all in a position where this Jupiter energy brings expansion, opportunity, especially in areas of your life that maybe previously have seemed unattainable or difficult to achieve. And then the Saturn energy accompanying the Jupiter energy sort of becomes the container or the element that's providing structure, format, so that as we are growing and advancing, we're doing so within a framework that is structured and unfolding over a period of time. Saturn is about time. And so it's almost like being in a slow cooker. So we're making positive strides forward, incrementally in a smooth, fluidly progressive manner. So I would really not expect that there's going to be huge catastrophic change or anything like that. You know, this is happening during a time with us being in winter. We're being compelled inward. And so a really good use of our energy right now is more on the idea level and on the intention level, on the investigating, exploring, researching possibilities level. It's not the time to strive to leap into action or leap into manifesting things. It's a time to utilize your mental and emotional and spiritual energies to prepare for what can be leaping into action as we're coming more into springtime. And a big part of that is nourishing your physical health, which is also very aligned with the winter cycle of power. Use this winter to nourish yourself, eating a very healthy diet, getting exercise. This is all a part of the overall well-rounded opportunity for rejuvenation that we have right now. The more we can strengthen our fortitude physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually this winter, the more we're going to be able to harness and utilize and make the most of this energy that's available to us all now in the direction of initiating what feels connected to your specific highest calling, your deepest enthusiasms, your most cherished goals and dreams. Now, we are really in abstract times and energies right now. And for that reason, it felt like a really good idea to work with this new Oracle deck today. I believe it's called The Cosmos Speaks. It's 44 vision cards or oracle cards, and these have been created by my friend Kymberley Griffin. This is what the top card of the deck looks like, which is also the cover of the book that comes with the deck, I believe. And so it looks like this. I don't have the book with me, so I'm going to be just going completely psychically, intuitively based on how these cards are speaking to me today. I've never used them before. She handed them to me yesterday to play with, to see how they feel. And so here we go. The first thing that I'm gonna look into is what is the main underlying energy that's influencing us all collectively right now. And so I'm just gonna take a moment here. Tune in. And see what wants to come up. Main energy that's influencing us all on subconscious levels. Feels like it wants to be this card. Okay, it's card number 13, so we're going to be looking into the numerology of things as well. There's a lot of gold and images that look like hearts that are also sort of like angel wings. When I'm looking at the card, there's also some oranges in there. So I'm thinking sacral plexus chakra, solar plexus chakra. So as we're looking at this in regard to the energies that are influencing us collectively on subconscious levels, the first thing that's coming up is around a marriage between the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine. The second chakra is all about the sacred feminine, sensing, feeling, being, allowing, intuiting, creative inspiration, intuition, whereas the solar plexus chakra is very aligned with the sacred masculine. It's doing, taking action, achieving, moving forward, making decisions, changing direction in life. And so collectively right now, we're all being divinely inspired to experience a deep merging within us, blending, uniting, harmonizing the sacred masculine and the sacred feminine. All of us are going to be at various levels of balance within that in our lives in the now. And so one thing we can do is check in with ourselves. How aligned do I feel with the sacred feminine? How aligned do I feel with the sacred masculine within me? And how can I achieve more of a cohesion or harmony so that ultimately the decisions I'm making, the actions that I'm taking, the enthusiasms I'm embodying are deeply inspired by qualities that are connected to the sacred feminine, which again is intuition, creativity, coming from a space of listening to your silent knowing, your inner guidance, and allowing that to be, again, what inspires action. The second chakra, or the sacred feminine, is also connected to processes of gestation, right? So it's connected to a womb-like energy. In all of us, masculine and feminine, we all have the ability to hold an idea and allow that dream, that idea, to be cultivated and gain in strength and life force, vitality, and energy as a part of the process of it being birthed into the physical realm, manifested. So right now, we are all strongly being supported in choosing a path of manifestation that is aligned with your deepest soul truth, your deepest inner guidance, listening to how your intuition is compelling you, which usually is going to feel like, what are you most excited about? What are you most curious about? What are you most passionate about? And allowing those dreams and those passions and those interests and the enthusiasms and curiosities to build into clarity over the wintertime. So as we come into spring, we can begin taking action on those things. Let's see what else wants to come up. Next card I'm going to look at is connected to the current situations that we're dealing with in the waking reality. We all know there's a lot of crazy things going on, but let's see what wants to come up here. It feels like it's this one. So the first card I picked was, again, the underlying energetic influences that are influencing us subconsciously. This is like what we're seeing happening in the world. Interesting. It is assigned to the number 44, which is an 8. So far we have this 13, which is a 4, and 44, which of course the 4 is in there, and then that equals the 8. So this card shows a hand making a mudra that actually in yoga is known as the Gyan mudra, the mudra of knowledge. Uniting human consciousness with cosmic consciousness is what this mudra means. This is what the card looks like. In the middle of the hand, there looks to be, can be seen as like an eye. It can also be seen as a sun, golden energy, life force energy, so there's that carryover theme. The hand itself is orange, so still we have this theme, strong theme, second chakra, third chakra. And there's butterflies that are primarily blue. There's butterflies coming out of the center of the hand and out into the world. Shamanically speaking, butterfly represents transformation. It's alchemy. It's birthing into a new expression of who you are. Something that's been coming up over the past few weeks that I'm being reminded of now is that a part of what's rising up to be addressed within us individually and collectively is the idea of authenticity. Being in your authenticity, having self-reflection, meditation around what is the core of my authentic nature. So when I'm seeing the butterflies here representing transformation, alchemy, shifting from one form of expression to another form of expression, it's still aligned, however that shift is for you, it is still aligned with your authentic core spirit, but perhaps on a higher vibrational level. So if you think of a butterfly going through the process of metamorphosis, where it starts as a caterpillar, undergoes metamorphosis and becomes a butterfly, it develops wings so that it can fly, right? So the caterpillar was as much of an authentic part of that being, that life essence, as the butterfly. It's just morphing into a different expression from earth to air, which is exactly what we just experienced in this great conjunction we just had with Saturn-Jupiter moving from Capricorn, which is earth, to Aquarius, which is air. So we're moving from a very earth-based experience over the past few years and rising into more inspirational energies. Aquarius is the visionary of the zodiac. So these inspirational energies moving into these air energies is also connected with shifting into higher vibrational, higher dimensional, 5D states of being. And it's inspiring us, again, there's a very clear recurring message around let yourself believe in what your higher vision is for yourself. And let that be the light that guides you forward. And take the approach of lightness in your endeavors, curiosity, be in the energy of embodying the enthusiasm that comes with possibilities, opportunities, options, new adventures. And let's see what else wants to come. So the next one I'm looking at is the energy that's here to help us to make this transition. What energy is available to us to collectively to support this process of spiritual alchemy that we're all experiencing now? We're all in the midst of this. I feel like it wants to be this one. Taking a moment to look at the card, because these are, the one thing I love about this deck is it's very abstract and so leaves a lot of room for flashes of intuitive insight. When I'm looking at this card, I see a landscape between earth and sky. There's still a lot of oranges coming in, some golds and some blues. There's like an orange sky shining down on a landscape that looks mountainous. And the mountainous structures are blue. There's a lot of blue in this butterfly card. There's a little bit of blue in the first card that I selected. And it's dark indigo blue, which is third eye chakra, visionary. When I'm looking closely at this card, there's like a little bit of a structure here that looks more geometric. So most of the structures in this card look organic. And then in the very center, there's an image that looks more like man-made. It reminds me of extraterrestrial technology. So as I'm looking at this collectively in regard to what energies do we have available to us to support our journeys in advancement forward through this time of transformation that we're in, it's a lot about not only trusting your instincts, your intuition, which can be connected to the third eye chakra, but envisioning, dreaming, imagining, using the power of your imagination as a container to shift subtle energy. This is a really empowering practice that we can all do right now. The little structure in the middle that looks man-made and is reminding me of extraterrestrial energy, higher technologies. I think on very practical levels, it's about utilizing the advancements in technologies that we already have available to us right now as a medium to support whatever your endeavors are, whatever your goals and dreams are. It's also about your personal advancement, intellectually speaking, knowledge, utilizing the higher mental faculties of intuition, imagination, inspiration, and intelligence are among the resources that we have available to us right now to lead ourselves forward. All we have to do is focus our attention in those directions. Now, of course, as we're moving forward, and I think this is a given, we have to know what it is that we're striving for in order for energy to flow in that direction. So again, that's not a step that you can skip. So I want to talk a little bit about this because one of the main issues that I hear mostly from my clients over and over again is that they don't know what their passions are, they don't know what their interests are, and they don't know how to access that. So one, I'm going to say that the reason a lot of people don't know what their passions or interests are is because they're not allowing themselves to connect with themselves on a heart level. You have to be willing to listen to your heart. And so a very simple and effective way to get on track with understanding what your higher calling is, what your passions and goals and dreams are, is to ask your heart, what does my heart desire to experience? Rather than asking, what should I do? What makes most sense? I mean, we want to be intelligent in navigating a path forward and using our mind as a tool to carry out the guidance of the heart. The intelligence of the heart is very connected to spiritual awareness. And a lot of times we don't want to feel into our heart space for various reasons. Maybe we've been socialized or conditioned to not value being heart-centered, or perhaps there's old pains in our heart, and so we're afraid to open the door because we don't want to feel those old pains. But, you know, my perception is that when we block ourselves from our heart, one, it doesn't really do what we subconsciously intend for that to do, which is protecting us from pain. It doesn't really do that if you think of it. If you're living with your heart guarded, at the end of the day, does it prevent you from feeling more pain? No. So why not be open, right? Our spiritual guidance comes from our heart, not our mind. And then we can utilize the intelligence of our mind, again, to carry out the guidance of the heart. So for those of you who are still struggling to have clarity around what your passions and enthusiasms are, be willing to feel into it in a heart space and simply ask your heart, not your mind, but your heart, what do I desire to experience? And more so, what do I desire to contribute to the world? A part of this energy that's happening right now is all about, again, contributing to the collective. It's coming into unity within humanity, and we're all striving to find ways to contribute to the greater good in life. So a deeper question to ask yourself is not only what are my deepest passions, what are my dreams, but how can I utilize my soul gifts to contribute to humanity? How can I contribute to life? We're no longer like me, take. Now it's what can I give? What can I contribute? How can I be contributing to goodness and light in the world? A really interesting thing is that all three of these cards that I've selected so far are very connected to the number 4. So this one is number 40, which is 4. And 4 is the number that's connected to the tangible physical world of form, which tells me that even though right now through winter we're in more of an inward sort of time of introspection, which can lead to setting new seeds of intentions, which will germinate and grow as we're moving forward. This is a time to let your light shine in the world. This is a time to be actively engaged and involved in life, physically taking action, physically contributing to manifesting whatever it is, whatever type of shift or change you want to see happen in your personal life and in the collective. We have to be willing to step up and be actively involved right now. I'm going to take a look at what messages want to come up in regard to our opportunity for soul growth that's connected to all of this. And we have a 1. Awesome. New beginnings. And there's still a lot of oranges and yellows. So all things connected to unity between the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine. And when I'm looking into this card, I'm seeing beings of light. 3 beings of light. They're angels, there's wings shining through dimensional shifts in reality. So as this relates to our opportunity for soul growth, don't forget to ask for higher guidance, right? God, spirit, universe, cosmic consciousness, angels, guides, spirit animals. Take the time to reclaim your connection to the sacredness in life, the beings of light that are here to help guide us. Take the time to reestablish those relationships with higher vibrational beings of light that are here to support. So meditation, prayer are really good tools for all of us now. It's what can lead us on those first steps of new beginnings. I find that often the people who are feeling lost in the world are the people that are forgetting about divine guidance. Forgetting like, oh yeah, I can ask spirit for guidance. I can ask to be guided by spirit, by the divine. I can ask to be guided on my path of highest joy. So we have to remember that. Discover what your unique way is of attuning to the spiritual realms of life and strengthen that aspect of yourself. Strengthen those relationships. That's a very good use of this cycle of power that we're in as we're coming into winter. And the last card I'm going to look at today is, what is our next best step collectively? What's the best use of our focus and energy right now and unfolding over the next few weeks? But it starts now. Let me pick a card here. Best use, next best steps, best use of our energies and moving forward. It's this one, and it's a 3. It's a 21, which is a 3. And we still have some blues. We've got some golds, some fuchsias, and oranges. And when I'm looking at the image here, water, dolphins, mountains, volcanoes. Volcanoes, purification energy, it's fire. Transmutation, purification. Water is intuition. Dolphin represents highly evolved intelligence and highly evolved modalities of communication. It reminds me of telepathic communication, communication through sound vibration. So as this is showing up in the position that says what our next best step is, the volcano aspect, the transmutation, purification, this is around clearing away. It's your healing process once and for all, transmuting anything that's been holding you back, any type of lower vibrational belief, thought, old wound. Turn it over to the fire of spirit, where it can be transmuted and recycled into reusable energy. As you nurture again your intuition, theme that's coming up this week. In the cards, some of the dolphins are in the water and some of them are coming out of the water. And so again, it's interdimensional between both worlds in this case. water and sky. There's some earth elements in there as well. Reaching up to access, develop. This is a really good time to be consciously developing those higher mental faculties of intuition, imagination, and intelligence, emotional intelligence, intuitive intelligence. So the best use of our energy right now is clearing away all that's holding us back from being super dialed in to very clear alignment with our soul truth, so that we can move forward with clarity and confidence that our actions are being guided and inspired by that silent knowledge. This is assigned to the number 3, which is growth, fruition, expansion. So as we once and for all sort of shed whatever's been bottling us up or holding us back energetically, that's how we can shift into that higher expression of our authenticity that's connected to the butterfly energy coming up in this card that I showed earlier. So give these messages some thought. How do these messages pertain to you individually? How do you feel called to contribute to the collective? What healing do you need to do so that you can really rise into your highest expression of yourself, or a higher expression of yourself? Let yourself have some consideration around these things. I'm always a big fan of journaling insights, because it helps take what might be like a vague, abstract notion and make it a little bit more concrete. What do you feel ready to shift into? This is the time. There's no better time than the present. Whatever your lifelong, most cherished aspirations have been, goals, dreams, this is the time to initiate, to say yes to those things. And working in alignment with spirit, in alignment with higher guidance, to be guided forward on that path in whatever way is serving your individual highest joy and contributing to the goodness in the collective. So I'm going to wrap it up there for now, because I feel like this is getting a little bit long. But I am going to see you guys later on this week. Blessings. Namaste. See you in the next video.